Oh my god. I look like such a dope. Like, I've got my headphones and they're tethered to the monitor that I'm playing my Wii on. So if I move my head, I'm going to take down my whole operation. This will be great. This will be great. What a great stream. Great guy, great stream is what I always say. Let me get the word out. All right. We are playing some Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This is what I call a filler content stream. No. I've just been working my ass off on this latest video, and I needed something to take me out of that. So I can either play my file, Kirk's file, or a new file. Yeah, I gotta hold the Wiimote back here to even get something good. Let's fix that before we get going here. Like, I'm way too close to the Wiimote to have a good time. Like, look at the sensitivity. It just goes whoop, 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 whoop. That's not good for this game. You definitely have to be a nice distance. So maybe I might remove the headphones from the equation so I can scoot back. Getting set up. I love my daddy, says Max. Yep, that's Cheryl. I do want to talk about this video because I did make a video up on my channel about Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It's one of my favorite reviews. You guys can check it out for yourselves. I should have really put it in the title cards now that I think about it. I'm shitty at management, if you couldn't tell. I'm going to go ahead and turn down my volume, and we'll get things going here in just a minute. All right, cool. So welcome to today's live stream, cool stream with your boy Hikiko. I'm gonna be sitting a little bit further back than normal. The Wii is just like that. Like, you can play with two candles, but you can't play, you know, a monitor's distance away. So maybe a little bit further here. Can you still see me? I can still see me up on the monitor. Yeah, that's the Wii for you. I've been playing it for my latest Dead franchises, so you will see that here shortly. All right, let's read the chat. Who's in here? We got Max, Mr. Greetus. This lagging is creepy. Oh, that's just how the game looks. Trust me, it's the way it goes. Dear Hikikomori Media, how do I do it with the girls? Through a lot of manipulation. Hey, random utility. Welcome, gangsta. Welcome, Mr. Greedius. Nothing beats your 25th Ward intro. Thank you. I thought some of you Suda fans would like that. So yeah, the last time I played this was a couple years back for mine and Kirk's review. Kirk was in it. It was Kirk's first time, I think, playing a Silent Hill game. So we just beat it cover to cover while he was over. And so, yeah, I referenced, like, both of our files. Like, I'm like, just play it like you normally would. So Kirk went straight for all the tits and sexuality. And so he got the more, I think it's called the, like, cheating father ending. And I think I got the frozen ending. And then there's, like, the alcoholic ending, and I've never gotten that. So I think that's what I'm going to aim for here. And you get the alcoholic ending for choosing the bar, looking at beer bottles, and I think just being a shit father in some way. So I'll figure that out as I go. Never heard of Hikikomori Media. What's this all about? Welcome. Sentry is down. Or shall I call all of you my pay piggies? That's going to be our file. Pay pigs. Piggoos. We doing this, pay pigs. This is my drunk file. We're going to be drunken Harry Mason. I've got a lot to say about this. First of all, this intro here with the VHS tape that you see that's jittering out. I wanted to mention this in my review. I think I cut it for pacing reasons, but I was going to reference where it actually came from. We're going to do kind of a little bit less on the music because Konami. Basically, what happened with this intro is that it's inspired by Falling Down, starring Michael Douglas. There's a scene in Falling Down wherever he's watching his child's birthday tapes over and over on repeat, trying to figure out where the relationship soured and stuff like that. And I was like, this is a direct reference almost to that scene in Falling Down. It's a great movie if you've never seen it. Oh my God, man. This has been such a dramatic week, or month, year. 2018's been like a heavy year, so I don't know where to even describe where it all went wrong or went so right. But I guess I'll start off slowly. So we'll start off with yesterday. So yesterday I put out that Patreon... Oh. Is it supposed to freeze like this? Oh. I think it's going. It's still going. Okay. it just tripped me out. Hold up. Did we get a hard lock? It just said I love my daddy and then it hard locked. Okay. Sure. Let's we just soft locked there. What a great time. You can't tell if it's the game, like if it's part of the story or if it's a real lock. Yeah, Konami sabotage. All right. Welcome. Remember this, guys? Remember the Wii and the channels and the fun and the virtual console? Remember when Nintendo had it all together? Remember when Nintendo put out channels like Wii Flow and USB Loader and the Homebrew channel? Why don't they do that anymore? All right, I'm going to load it directly from the disc. Usually I load it from the hard drive. Quick, switch to the PS2. Oh, I don't want to update my system. Let's just play it off the disc through Wii Flow. Switch to PS2. I don't have the PS2 version. I only have the PSP and Wii version. The PS2 version in America is really expensive. Like really, really expensive. I think it's like $60 to $80. I've seen it. All right, so I got it loading from the disc now. Hopefully that won't be an issue any further. It's best to get all your crashes out in the beginning of the stream. So it says, what's going on, Hiki? Konami sabotage? No. Unfortunately, I think it's just my loader. But I'm loading it from the disc now, so I think we'll be good. I was going to talk about yesterday. I put out a Patreon video. That is not my first Patreon video. It's kind of like an update. I've been meaning to put out an update for my Patreon. I've had it for almost a year now. And my goals were just kind of weak and pointless. And I guess you peg pigs. We're on the pay pigs file. I guess it was just a matter of I thought my Patreon, like, I wasn't either keeping up with it in the sense of like, oh, here are these exclusive videos. And they all ended up being like pickup videos and stuff like that. So it wasn't anything special. And that in different tiers, I don't know how to do the tiers. Like, I don't want like there to be hierarchies within my own channel. Like, oh, this person pays this much, so therefore they get access to this and that and that. I just wanted like $1 to be the barrier to everything, but there's really no barrier. The only thing you get with my Patreon is you get to know what I'm working on, and I release like little clips of what's coming out, and I just kind of, you know, I treat it more as if you want to donate, you can, and that's where I'm feeling comfortable at. The truth of the matter is I have a full-time job, and I make more money there than I would have ever dreamed of on YouTube. And, you know, that's kind of how life is. That's just normal. So, you know, I'm not trying to use my YouTube channel as a way to funnel money out of my subs. So, you know, I always look at it as like, if people like my content, they want to support it and encourage me, that's their way of doing that. I'm looking into opening up a PayPal, so if you don't want to deal with Patreon, you can do it that way. You can donate through Super Chats or not at all. Like, honestly, I've been paying for Hikikomori Media out of pocket for most everything. All the games, all the systems, capture software, skits, like little trips I go on and film weird shit. All of that's just been paid by me. The only thing I really use my Patreon nowadays for is Adobe Creative Cloud, so I can do things like make gradients or cool intros, like I'm learning that, and things that I would pay a graphic designer to do for me, so I can do it kind of myself and then just have one workstation where I get all of it done. So your donations are appreciated, and seriously, they just go into the channel and nothing else. I buy my own games, I buy my own shit, buy my own PC. I'm not going to beg you for anything at any time. I still will do the shoutouts, so like if you've donated, you get all the shoutouts and stuff at the end of the major videos. So you'll be on the scoreboard, it'll be there, and we're just going to leave it at that. As I said, like, you know, I'm going to be transparent as possible of how I run things, and I feel like everyone should be that way, and I'm going to leave it at that. So go and watch that video. I have a good time. I tell a few jokes in there, so go check that out. But yes, you are all my piggus. That's a term that I've just picked up on, and it's so true to how YouTube works. Okay, but before I get into that little rant, let's take our inventory, our little profile here. Personality inventory form. So I make friends easily. That's definitely false. Having a drink helps me relax. Yeah, we're going for the drink run, so true. I always listen to other people's feelings. No, I don't. I prefer abstract ideas. Would an alcoholic do that? Probably. I have enjoyed role play during sex. Alcoholics probably can't get it up, so we're going to go false. Working to plan or schedule is best. False. Fly by the seat of my pants. Have never cheated on a partner. That's true, but we're going false. This gets really embarrassing to play with friends if they answer honestly for some of these questions. No. I'm not rich. I'll tell you that much. I have enough to get by and buy a game or two a month. And that's good enough for me. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my hardest to climb my way up the financial ladder, but, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. You gotta have that balance of making enough money to survive and then also kind of being a starving artist in your passion. But I can't fully commit to the starving part. I like food. All right, so let me catch you up on what this game's all about. It's kind of a reimagining of the first Silent Hill, and it was lambasted by the Silent Hill community. I wouldn't say all of them. I think there's it's about 50-50. Like, half of the Silent Hill community loves this game. The other half just like, oh, it's Western developed and there's nothing good about it, so you should never bother playing it. But honestly, it's like in my top 3 Wii games, and it's in my top 3 Silent Hill games. And this is coming from a guy, I've beaten every Silent Hill. I've played them since the very beginning. I understand the lore and the fan theories. I've listened to Akira Yamaoka soundtracks maybe a million times. Like I've had Akira Yamaoka's music burned on every CD, every Palm Pilot I've ever owned. I've put it on every portable device. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time too. So like Silent Hill is deep within the core of my gaming tastes. And I just can't agree with the hardcore people that hate this game. I think it's fantastic. It's short. It strays from, the typical Silent Hill formula, but I think the things it does to stand out make it interesting and worth playing. So those are my thoughts. I echo that in my review. And I think most people would concur if they gave it a chance. There's a few clever things going on in here. It's not the most, in-depth puzzle game. It doesn't have as many cryptic riddles as some of the earlier Silent Hill games, but I think it's the most accessible Silent Hill game without, delving too much into just copying the movies or just copying Silent Hill 2. Plus, I really like the cell phone aspects. Like, I can pull up my phone. Which button is that? I gotta figure out what button it is. I don't know if I can pull it up this early on. But Harry can pull up his cell phone and call the numbers he finds. And that interesting bit of world building. And he peeks through the doorways, and he can, like the Wii version, many people don't like Wii gimmicky controls and stuff like that. I don't mind them because I guess I fell hard for them whenever it came out. I thought the Wii was the coolest thing ever, and I like that little bit of imagination that you have to apply to it. Just kind of like old school Nintendo games, old pixel games and stuff. Like, or the original Silent Hill, the old polygonal graphics. Like, you had to apply a little bit of imagination to it, and it made it that much more engaging, I think. Same thing with like having the flashlight. Like, I'm stationed a little too close, so it's just going crazy. But I think it works well here. This is a Silent Hill that's more about the environment and the little details instead of like carrying on the cult of the order and like Alessa and Dahlia Gillespie and Pyramid Head and all the other different, I guess, symbolic, psychological things in that regard. This one's just kind of a straightforward psychological thriller with projections of monsters and stuff manifested upon the town in a different way. And I think that can be good. For a guy like me that loves Japanese developed games, I didn't want to just hop on the hate bandwagon. And I think if you're looking for a great Wii title that takes full advantage of the Wiimote and stuff and makes a true... I think this is the best horror game on the Wii. I mean, like, what is it going up against? The Calling? There really aren't that many horror games out for the system, so, or mature games for that matter. So if you're looking for something more adult, this is a good place to start. It looks the best on the Wii, and I think it doesn't go overboard with the Wii's gimmicks. It's neat. So that's my little spiel on the game. Everyone should give it a chance sometime. You'll have a good time. Also, this is the last Akira Yamaoka produced soundtrack. Like, I guess Book of Memories, if you want to count that. But I mean, like, for all the Silent Hill games, this is kind of like the swan song. And the soundtrack's great. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, the voice actress for the Major in Ghost in the Shell, she's the lead singer in Akira Yamaoka's band. I guess unofficially it's called the Silent Hill Band, but she sings for all the Silent Hill games. And she does a great cover of Willie Nelson. You were always on my mind in this. It's really haunting and chilling, and it's just interesting to hear the major sing so beautifully. She's an underrated singer. She can say some weird things. Like she said a few weird things when it came to the HD collection, but I'm not going to hold that against her. She's an artist. You know, Morrissey says some of the dumbest shit in the world, and I still love him. Do you intend to have the volume for the game to be basically mute? Okay, do you want it up a little bit more? There you go. I usually keep it mute mainly for copyright reasons. Like Konami especially loves to match clips and take down streams. It's really bad. I don't know. So when I'm reading chat and stuff, it's not drowned out by gunshots and shit like that, so. Wait, I've got to find the... I got to grab the knob and find the door. There we go. Don't forget to buzz. So let's see here. Let me read that chat. Miles, even Book of Memories? Are you talking about the soundtrack? I asked this in another Silent Hill stream, but should I dip out to avoid more spoilers? This is a game you don't really have to worry about spoilers so much because there's several different endings, and not everyone's going to have the same experience. And by that I mean, like, this game changes based around choices and pathways that you make. So, I mean, the only place you need to dip out is the ending, I guess. So, if we get there in the stream, I'll let you know. Mr. Milky. Have you seen my cat? He is brown with black stripes. If you see him, contact Bobby Ashton. Hot Arcadia. Whoa, 1104 Arcadia Avenue. Mr. Milky. I've never seen that. Some of these textures, I think they randomize too, depending on some of the choices you make. So, like for instance, I'm going to come up to a branching pathway and I can go through, like, I can go into a diner or go into a bar. And depending on what I choose, it changes all the graphics throughout the rest of the game. But yeah. Hey, retro game players. Miles, I have the first Silent Hill on vinyl. You do? The first Silent Hill soundtrack? Did you get it from I Am 8-Bit? I'd love to have something like that. The original Silent Hill soundtrack would be perfect on vinyl. It kind of has that lo-fi record scratch quality about it, and a bit of a trip-hop vibe. I believe Yamaoka was inspired by... Oh, look, now they're beer cans. Sweet. They're soda cans in my other playthrough. Look at the physics. I've never done the alcoholic playthrough, so that's what I'm aiming for. Yamaoka said that Portishead and Trippy, or Tricky, and a few others were the inspiration for the first soundtrack. That and, like, in the industrial sounds of Nine Inch Nails. I guess that's why I like Yamaoka, because he, like, took a bunch of Western bands that I already liked, and he's like, let me chop them all together and make it my own. That dude is dipped into every musical genre there is. I'm really impressed with how he put together the Let It Die soundtrack. The dude is a madman. Absolute madman. Look at that clown. Yeah, for a Wii game, this still holds up. Ridiculous atmosphere, though. Giant piles of snow and ice everywhere. Like, it kind of has that Max Payne 1 and 2 vibe going for it. I love games with snow in them. I believe I had a conversation with Rai Rai about this, that there's something isolating and cold and quiet and I guess therefore spooky about games that have snow in them. It's a natural disaster that a lot of people can relate to, and it would make sense that, you know, cops wouldn't be showing up because there's just too much snow on the ground and they can't have access, that sort of thing. Let's see. Setsuna, best snow game, says Centuries Down. I'm glad you like it. So yeah, this is the pub you go to. This, I think, once you go into the pub, it pretty much sets in stone the alcoholic ending. So it's one of the easiest ones to get. Levin Street is a callback to the original Silent Hill. Doghouse, Levin Street. So I was inspired to play this game by my friend Extra Mana. He reminded me of my Silent Hill Shattered Memories review. So I went back and I watched that, and I still enjoy that review. It's a little rough. It's a little front heavy with the skit, but I think it's funny. It was one of the first times like Kirk and I really worked something out together like that, and I'm really happy that he still makes skits and stuff with me and still hangs out with me. We lit a cooking mama baby on fire. That was fun. You should check it out so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that review was a callback to Twin Perfect. It was kind of like a nod or a counter video to their hate for this game. And so it was like, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've ever watched Twin Perfect, you'll get it instantly. If not, just being around Silent Hill fans, like some of the more hardcore ones, you'll understand what I'm going for in it. But yeah, I think the video speaks for itself. So I'm going to take a look around here at this bar. I believe the more Harry lingers on drinks or an object in focus, he earns these like passive points. And if he gets enough passive points, that triggers the ending. I believe there's like a neutral ending, a sexual ending, a bad ending, and the alcoholic ending, and then the true ending or something. There's many endings to this game. Many, many endings. But that's typical of a Silent Hill game. Oh yeah, these little mementos. I've already collected all of them, but they're usually just physics things that you can observe kind of like in a Shenmue fashion. I think they're cool. What up, LP Rotus? Dynamic shadows or attempt at them. Yeah, I mean, like, for the Wii, it's... You gotta understand that the Wii barely had any more processing power over the GameCube, so essentially this is a high-end GameCube game, but they somehow managed to port it to the PSP, which I'm still impressed by to this day. I can't believe they made this for the PSP though. It's really impressive. They cut the frame rate in half, and obviously the resolution took a hit, but it's not a bad time. Okay, we're gonna enter our first Otherworld sequence. Harry's personality does change too based on the choices you make. So he goes from being more neutral to, in the drunk mode, he's like more aggressive and forgetful. They really built the choices from the ground up and considered almost all possibilities, unlike Downpour, where they didn't do shit. All endings are pretty much the same. That's a game I do want to talk about, but I really don't think there's much left to complain about. Like, everything's been, I guess, I don't know, gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Everyone and their brother hates that game, and I don't blame them. It's I don't know. I guess I could give you some of my thoughts on Downpour. I think out of all the Western games, it's the weakest because I don't think it does enough on its own to set itself apart. Like, even Homecoming gives you a military-based character with a refined combat system. I mean, it's not the best, but it's interesting. There's far more creative monster designs in Homecoming. The soundtrack's better in Homecoming. I don't know. I think I've tried to understand the people that like Downpour, and I guess the way I see it is the people who watched the movies went out and played Downpour and thought it was a scary new metal adventure, which it is. And I guess if you're into like really cheap scares and poorly designed enemies, like, you know, if just like jump scares, like you got to keep in mind that the Paranormal Activity movies are highly successful in America, and there's like 7 of them, and there's like a bajillion sequels to Insidious and all that stuff. So it's just like, I guess there's people with a much lower threshold for scares than me. So I get it, but I guess like as a Silent Hill game, it's not all that good. The plot's inconsistent and it contradicts itself from the beginning till the end. Really, like, the game should have been over in the very opening act of Silent Hill Downpour. Like, the main antagonist that... Okay, spoiler alert, minor spoilers for Downpour, but you learn this in the first, like, 10 minutes. There's a pedophile that murdered Murphy's son, and therefore Murphy kills him in the shower. So it really doesn't leave a lot of room to explore beyond that. And then, like, I don't know. Like, it depends on your stance on murder. Like, was it all a dream? Is Murphy sympathetic even though he stooped to the level of the guy who killed his son? I don't know. Like, they don't give you any time with Murphy and his son to grow attached to them. You don't see any bits of Murphy as a normal person. You just see him as this grim, dark prisoner with no personality. And I guess we're supposed to care for him, and they just don't do anything to make you care for him. Like, okay, take for instance the first Silent Hill. You see in the opening the attract mode, it's Harry and Cheryl, and he's an adoptive father, and they're going on a vacation together, and there's like little cuts of them like telling jokes and smiling and having a good time, and you start to learn about Harry through the little notes that Cheryl leaves him, or the drawing of Daddy, and the flashbacks and stuff. Like, even in this game, like, they do so much of a better job of characterizing who Cheryl is and why we should care about them. Murphy's son is just a footnote. It's just like, he's the rape murder victim in the background, and just because of rape murder, we're supposed to care for him. We learn like nothing about Murphy's son, and then we just instantly have to care just cuz. I don't know. Downpour is so by the numbers when it comes to horror. And the enemy design, like, I guess the only symbolic representation of the enemy design in Silent Hill Downpour is that all of the humans or the monsters have some sort of binding to them. Like, if you look at them, they have, like, handcuffs or they're in some sort of restraint. And that's about it. Like, it's like the only thing they have in common is they're prisoners in some way.
Sweetie, you're okay? Are you at home?
Hey, what up, Tentacle Touchy? Tentacle.
There, wait for me.
You're not Tentacle Touchy. Wait, are you Tentacle Touchy? I can't see from here. Sorry if I quoted the wrong person there. Anthony Birch Fan Club says, collecting all the memories shouldn't have given you a hoarder... Should have given you a hoarder ending. That would be amazing. I would have accepted that. Okay, this is our first Otherworld transition. Here everything's frozen in ice, frozen in time, if you will. And we're going to meet what we call the Rorschachs. The Rorschachs. And they're based, like, their physical appearance changes depending on the choices you make. And allegedly, they're supposed to be shaped in a way that would be scary to the viewer. So I don't know how it works. Like, I think the sexual, like if you go the sexual route, they've got tits or something. I believe that's how it goes. I'll have to check Kirk's save file and see what they look like there. But yeah, I love it. I love the atmosphere of this game. I know this stream probably's not doing it justice. This is a game that you want to play with either one friend or play by yourself in the dark. You know, it'll only take you an afternoon, but it's a fun time. It really is. So yeah, Downpour. Oh yeah, Tentacle says Downpour features very little rain. I mean, there is rain, but it doesn't have... It's, like, inconsequential to the story or anything. It just rains in Silent Hill instead of ashes or snow. And the PS3 version, every time there's a lightning bolt, it tears the screen and causes epilepsy, probably, for some people. It looks real bad on the PS3. What's even worse, though, is the frame rate dips even further if you do the 3D feature. I have the PlayStation 3D monitor that I'm looking at the chat on over here. If you play Silent Hill Downpour in that, you will walk away with a splitting headache. It kills the game's frame rate, and the 3D is... They didn't design it with that in mind. We'll just say that. There's really nothing coming at your face, ever. I think, like, the water slide puzzles or the water slide moments are the only times where it actually works. Okay, so these are the nightmare sequences. So instead of combat, it's like running down a hallway. And the best way I can describe the inspiration for this bit in the game is like the movie where I guess the mother is running through Silent Hill real quickly and trying to find the best pathway. So you're doing that, and you can check on your phone and draw yourself a little map, but really it's like you go from one end to the other end of the map, and then the ice melts, and you're in the clear. And I kind of prefer this in some ways, because it just gets that out of the way so you can enjoy exploration. And it can be kind of intense. Like, it has more of a clock tower vibe to it, which isn't a bad thing. I can hear on my Wiimote, like, static like you would hear on the radio. So if I point it towards the door, it can clue me into if there's a Rorschach in there. And I can either choose an alternate path or wait for it to go away or run at it with a flare to scare it off. So there are some modes of defense. Most of the time you'll just be running. It's really not all that bad. I think the problem is a lot of people give up too easily if they can't win the first time. That's kind of like the case for a lot of modern reviewers out there. They just give up too easily, they get frustrated, and then just start docking points away. There was a raw shock there. I'm hiding in a locker till it goes away. Alright, we're gonna sneak past it. Okay, so you've got to center the Wiimote and just shake him off. It's really not all that bad. Takes some getting used to, sure. Oh, shit. I say that, and then I instantly get attacked, but I'm sitting a little too close to the TV screen. Yeah, but they'll grab you out of hiding. They'll run at you. They'll crowd up on you and scream for help. They're no joke. And you can slow them down. You can hide from them. They might find me. Deadly Premonition has a moment like this too with the Raincoat Killer. There's two of them up in this room. Do I have a route in mind? Yes, I'm going the alcoholic route. I don't know if my Wiimote is coming out there on the old Yeti, but if you hear all those staticky noises, that's the game freaking out. Okay, so down here, I'm near the end of it. Harry can run by and pick up this flare, and I'll use it if I'm in a pinch. They're really not all that bad. And I believe that's the exit. And there we have it. That's the first one. And I had a flare. You can't stock the flares like in other Silent Hill games. Like, you really don't have an inventory except for temporary keys and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't see what the big deal is. That only took me like 3 minutes. I didn't die. And it's been a couple of years since I've played this, so... Some of the maps do get a little long, I will say that. But there's only like 3 of them in the game, so if that's the biggest issue, I don't know what to tell you. So this is Dr. Michael Kaufman. He's a psychologist in this game, which I thought was a cool way of reinventing the character. He was like a doctor / drug runner in Silent Hill 1 / occultist. I didn't know what the question was, so we're just gonna say no.
Would you say it takes a while for people to get to know you?
Sure, it takes a while for people to get to know me.
People can choose their friends, but not their
Friends over family? We're gonna say yes. That's an alcoholic's way, right? Hanging out at the bar instead of with your kids. Hell yeah.
No. You're going to like this.
This is one of the funnest parts.
I want you to let out your
So you're given a whole bunch of colored pencils and a drawing. And this influences such a minor thing in the game. But the first time that I saw it, I instantly fell in love with Shared Memories. I was like, what the fuck is the big deal? Why does everyone hate this? This is great. I've never seen something like this in a game. So, just I guess a minor spoiler. You choose whatever colors you like, and then you draw up on this, and it texture maps your colors to the items that you colored in the real world. So, what do you guys want this car to be? Put it up in chat, and I'll draw you something nice. Um, I'll start drawing these shirts. We're gonna go with the pink. We're gonna rep some Hikikomori right here. We got pink for the dude. Lime green for the lady. Red car is fasta, says Max. Okay. Red car it is. I haven't really gone in depth like with experimenting with this puzzle. Like I don't know how sophisticated it is. Like if I do some 2 tones or 3 tones, if it will actually show up like that. So we're going to put a little yellow racing stripe down the middle. That makes it way faster. Vomit looking color. Okay, everything. We can make it all, I guess. What kind of vomit are you talking about here? Green? Do we just want everything green? Are you talking about green or whatever this red is? Ooh, let's make them all red trees. Deadly Premonition style. Yeah, boy. Shout out to Swery. Swery, are you in the stream right now? I wouldn't be surprised. He shows up in the weirdest places. All right. These are the trees I see when I close my eyes. Hey, Zek. Hey, Miles. How's your hunting for an Xbox One saga going? Oh, I will tell you. I will tell you that it just keeps on. The plot keeps getting thicker. The short end of it is I don't have one yet. Thank you for the donation, the super chat, Zek B. I'll fill you in just a moment. I thought the yellow looked like puke. Okay. Yellow, bright yellow, everything else. I grew up in a yellow house, honestly, and then my mom went through some sort of mental break and had some guy paint it fluorescent pink. So I lived in a pink house all throughout 5th and 6th grade. And so I could never live it down, honestly. I think some people still remember my pink house. I remember this fat kid that was such a total douche back in middle school. And like every opinion he had was contrarian and stuff. And I believe I argued with him about something like Pokemon or something like that. And he goes, "Oh yeah? Well, you live in a pink box. Get fucked." And then I stopped dead in my tracks and I said, "All right, you got me." I got nothing. I got nothing to say after that. When you live in a pink house, all your opinions are irrelevant. All right, there's my masterpiece. Let's do it. Let's dive in. I'm finished. What does that tell you about me? I want to know.
What a lovely family home. Is your home?
My home was just like this, yes. Let's see. This is my favorite part. Yup. Just like my drawing. The mailbox is yellow, so yeah, it did take in mind a lot of this. I believe most of this scene is pre-rendered, so I can't really explore all the minutia of what changed. So I'm looking for pink shirt, green shirt, blue jeans. A pink shirt.
What are you doing in my house? I think you have the wrong address. No, this is my house.
Who's that at the door, hon?
Yeah, there it is, boys.
What are you people doing?
Hikikomori Media representing.
Living here for a long time. Isn't that right, Mom?
This scene right here makes me wonder if David Lynch ripped off this moment for Twin Peaks season 3. In the finale, there's a moment just like this. San and Sense knows what I'm talking about.
We're sorry. Katie's been acting up.
I know it's real-time rendered, but, like, I can't explore this house, I don't believe. Like, I can't explore everything. I know, yeah, most all the cutscenes are real-time rendered.
This doesn't make sense. Not at all. Cheryl!
You are upsetting my wife.
Get the hell out of my house. It's my house. It's my damn house. Cheryl!
All right, so let's see. Can I get a look at that garage and the station wagon? I have a feeling I painted that station wagon for no good reason.
Sir, you come down here for me?
All right, so
Officer,
that's Sybil Bennett.
people in my house.
She's a police officer in Silent Hill from Silent Hill 1. Her appearance changes a lot, so now she's like dressed more like a SWAT team member. Maybe because like Harry's a belligerent drunk now. But she has like 3 or 4 different outfits that she can have. One of which is really sexy, like a really low-cut one. Kirk got that in his playthrough.
I'm a police officer, Mr. Mason, and I need you to come with me.
All right, Zek B. So that the Xbox Quest, I had 2 deals in place that fell through. 3 deals in place that fell through. 2 of which were on, or all 3 were on OfferUp, which is that app I was talking about in my last stream.
Officer Sybil.
So what happened was, oh wait, can I go up in the front seat? Nope, just the back seat. So what happened was, this guy out in Los Angeles was selling his Xbox One, and the only problem it had was there was a DVD stuck in the disk drive, and I know how to get that out. I know how to fix that problem. My original Xbox has that problem, and there's an emergency eject button for the Xbox One. You can stick a paper clip in there, and then it manually ejects the tray. And he was selling that Xbox One for $100, so it was a really good fucking deal. And I wanted it. I was like, okay, for $100, I'll fix it myself, and if it's like still broken, I can probably order a DVD drive for it or a Blu-ray drive for it and swap it myself. I like doing stuff like that. So the guy was stringing me along for like the better part of the week. He's like, oh, I'm out of town. I'll be in to ship it. And I was like, okay, no worries, man. No hurry. And then he messages me 3 days later and he's like, yeah, we're still on. I gotta ship it. So like I'm waiting there, and I message him the next day. I was like, hey, are we still on? Like, if you don't want to do the deal, that's okay. Just tell me, no thank you. Give me a reply of any kind so I'm, not stuck to this deal and I can go out there and make other deals. And then I just kept seeing that the dude was reading my messages and just not replying. So I'm just like, fuck this. So I rescinded the offer after about a week of just no replies from this guy. So I was like, I'm done. And then had a similar incident last night where this crackhead lady that was selling a shit ton of iPhones up on her page and random Xbox with no games. Like, it's always suspicious when you're selling an Xbox with no games, just the base console by itself. Like, you just literally lifted it out of somebody's home and ran off with it. And I had to walk her through how to print off a shipping label. Like, we got that far into our deal. And I was like, I don't give a shit. OfferUp has like a buyer protection thing. So if they rip me off, I can get my money back. So I wasn't really concerned with that. So anyway, I walk her through this whole process. I even go as far to send her a tutorial video on how to print out a fucking shipping label and how OfferUp works, even though she's the one who made the page and offered to ship it anywhere. So after like hours of doing all that, she ghosts me out of nowhere, like we were just having a friendly conversation about it, and she was so thankful, and then she ghosts me and doesn't reply for the rest of the night. And I was like, hey, if you're ghosting me, just at least tell me the deal's off or tell me no thank you. And then I just kept seeing her reading the messages. I was like, what's with all these damn people? Like, going through, finalizing the deal, and then just disappearing. So I rescinded the offer once again. And this shit happened twice again on Facebook. Like, I'd be talking with somebody, and I'd be like, hey, I got the money, ready to meet up. I got a place where we can meet up. A safe place for everyone. So anyway, I just got frustrated with it. I'm kind of like burnt out on looking for Xbox Ones at a reasonable price. Like, I might just have to save up paycheck by paycheck and just say fuck it and get an Xbox One X, but I kind of don't want to waste all that money. I just want an Xbox One at like $100 to maybe $120, and that's it. I really don't care about the condition. I'll fix it up myself. Or customize the case. Like, I'm not really too concerned with that. But yeah, that's... last night was, like, kind of the final straw. Like, I've been through so many shitty Xbox deals in the past week that my head's spinning, and I just think everyone's an idiot. Everyone's a dishonest, lying idiot troll. And I can't deal with it. So I'm just like, fuck it, no Xbox. But last night was the final straw. So there's this person up in my neighborhood that lives, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 miles away. So they're not all that far away. Like, there's a street that connects our homes. Like, my street goes down for a while. And so she lives pretty much on the same street. And then on her profile, she's like, $240 for an Xbox One and 6 games, and the games are like Assassin's Creed, Madden, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. Basically all the games that would belong to either a casual gamer or a delinquent. It's one of those two. And she kind of fell into both. And so I was messaging her. I was like, it was like probably about 11 p.m. last night. Because, like, I messaged, like, 7 or 8 people. I'm like, hey, do you still have this? Hey, do you still have this? Hey, do you still have this? Because no one has the courtesy to take down their posts if something's been sold. So, like, I'm just constantly messaging people fruitlessly. And finally somebody replies, and, like, this lady... for $240, it was like an Xbox original with a handful of games, and I messaged her. I was like, hey, would you mind just selling the Xbox by itself for, like, I don't know, $140? I really don't need all the bells and whistles or games. I already own the games I want for it. And then she goes, yeah, that sounds good. I'll sell it to you, just the base model. I was like, okay, awesome. So I'm thinking I'm finally getting a true lead, and it's somebody I can meet up with. I was like, okay, when do you want to meet? She's like, how about we meet right now? I was like, well, it's 11 at night, and wouldn't you prefer to meet in the morning? She goes, this is where the fucking bombshell hit. She goes, yeah, I know I'm only 15. I know I'm only 15, but I'm a big girl, and I'm willing to walk. I'm willing to walk to pretty much anywhere. You can meet me at my apartment. I'm like, no, I don't want to meet you in the middle of the night. I don't want to meet any 15-year-old, let alone any person in the middle of the night at your apartment. I was like, here, how about tomorrow? We can meet at the local police department, because my local police department has a little area for trades. Like, you can just go meet up in the lobby of the police department, bring your cash, bring your items, test out shit. There's an area for that, and it's safe for everyone. So I'm telling her, I'm like, hey, why don't we just meet up at the police department? We can meet in the lobby in the daytime and trade this Xbox One for cash. So A, I can't get ripped off if it's a broken Xbox or if it's stolen or something. And B, It's a freaking teenage girl, and I want a fucking witness. So she was just like, come on, $120, meet me at this Quick Trip. Meet me at this Quick Trip in the middle of the night. I need this money real badly. I need it real fast. So I'm like talking with my girlfriend. I'm like, doesn't this sound shady as shit? I'm like, she's like, who is this person? Like, what kind of 15-year-old wants to meet at a gas station in the middle of the night, like around midnight, and that they need the money and they're willing to cut the price of their offer in half? It's like they sound like they're in a really desperate situation, like they may jump me. And then she's like, what's her profile like? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't look at her profile. I look at her profile. It's this 15-year-old girl that's pregnant with an adult father holding her stomach. And the adult father looks like a straight up criminal. Well, I mean, he's a criminal probably because, you know, the whole statutory rape thing. But it looks like this dude would jump me and that it's like some sort of honeypot scam. I'm like, so I messaged this girl back. I'm like, hey, I kind of don't want to meet up with you. Good luck selling this. And I'm just like, all right, I'm out. This is way too fucked up. Like, anyone who's selling an Xbox One for a deal is obviously selling a stolen one, or will try and rob me at gunpoint or knife point. So I'm just like, fuck it. It's not worth all that hassle. I might as well just buy either a new one or wait and wait for him to come down in price, because, you know, your life is not worth an Xbox One. In fact, an Xbox One is not really worth it on its own anyways. But yeah. So there you have it, Zekby. That's kind of the end of the Xbox One saga. I'm done with it. I pretty much hate everyone that has an Xbox One for sale. I think I should put my money towards another PS4 and use it to put homebrew on it and call it a day. Hold on. What do we got here? True Hiki to the end, huh, Miles? Yeah, I don't want to leave my house. We're not at the beginning of the game. In fact, we're about a third of the way through. This is a really short game. I've got to go to the high school next, I believe. So I'm finding my way out of the woods. Let's check the old handy-dandy cell phone. So here I am. I've got to make it, I think, to the ranger station. The high school, like, the map here is weird because they obviously drew it in vector graphics and it's running in real time. Instead of, like, you know, making a PNG, this is a real-time vector render. Like, way more effort than any map should ever have on it. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. I've got to find my way. I believe the school is up this road. So I need to head to the ranger station. And there might be a memento at that pump station over there, too. You can also draw on the map, too. Leave yourself little notes. I thought that was cool. In the original Silent Hill games, like, the protagonist would just scribble over shit. So if they came to a dead end, they would just be like, well, not here. And then they would circle things, and the map would get all messy by the end of it. I thought that was cool. But here, you just kind of DIY it. Looks mean. Yeah, so if you read in the description of today's stream, it says making enemies. Apparently, I've been making a lot of enemies and I didn't even know it. It's one of those situations, like, I'm being a little vague here because I don't want to hurt this person's feelings or these people's feelings. But apparently, I've got some enemies already. Like, I've got people that don't like me. And I kind of feel honored in some way, like people would warrant me that important not to like. It's not like, you know, I think I did anything wrong, but yeah, I just found out from a friend that somebody who's a few YouTubers, I should say, kind of hate me and think that I guess I'm making fun of them or calling them worthless in some ways. And I think all of this was spurred by two little harmless videos. Care to guess which videos they were? I'm gonna let the chat decide which videos they were, and then we can kind of walk through what I think happened. Drama alert! Sound the sirens. Yeah, there's a wee bit of drama. The funniest part is I don't necessarily care, but I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be a part of some drama for a change. It finally happened. This is the big time. It's coming my way. But for real, like the drama itself is so stupid that I don't even know where to begin with it. So there's two videos. I'll give you a hint. It's two videos on my channel in a series. It's kind of a series. I'm starting it off, and it's satirical, and that should clue some of you Hikikomori Media longtime subs, not really long time, it's a recent series, into what it's all about. And I'll try and explain myself and explain what happened. My Alpha Mega Sin impression, nah, it wasn't about him. I guess he kind of falls into that group, I'm not sure. I mean, it kind of falls into that group. I would say that this particular group I'm satirizing is extremely incestuous, and there's a lot of nepotism and favors and milking the audience for all they're worth. And you're like, Miles, that can apply to all of YouTube. Yeah. Is Alpha even alive? I don't know. I think he's like gone the way of the spoon. I think all he does is tweet nowadays. I'm getting all these mementos. I'm not sure what Alpha's doing. Trying to reach things on high shelves. The struggle is real. Oh boy. I bet I could fight him. Like I said, like I talk shit because I know I could fight Alpha, so it's like no big deal. I feel I would stand a good chance. He may get a few good groin shots in, but I feel like I could fight him, so I will talk a wee bit of shit. a wee bit on Alpha, but honestly, I got no beef with that dude. Like I think he's an anomaly. I don't understand why he ever got big. Big, but like maybe it was the Gamergate stuff. Like maybe he was on that tip and then blew up. I still don't understand YouTube. If I understood YouTube and how to be successful, I wouldn't make half the videos I make. I wouldn't talk about the games I talk about. Let's see if anyone's guessed it yet. Everyone's talking about Alpha, I guess. No, it's not with Alpha. I got no beef with him. I really, personally, I have no beef with the people that have a beef with me. I think some of these people should be thanking me, in a sense, for doing their work for them, but I mean, that's the case with a lot of stuff. It's like, it's nobody that, I guess, like, it's nobody that I would consider to be, like, anyone you guys might know. I don't know. I guess I can talk about the group, because like I really don't want to single these people out, primarily because like I'm still trying to understand what went wrong and like figure out my role in all of this. I've got a running theory. So I guess we'll take it from there. So the videos in question are the Jam's Game Life videos. So if you haven't guessed it, Jam's Game Life kind of spurred this drama. and I heard about it from a friend that was just like, hey, this person's really pissed off at you and they think you're making fun of them, and they've unfollowed you and they've unsubscribed from you, and they want absolutely nothing to do with you anymore. And I was like, over my Jam videos? Over Jam's Game Life? If you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch those. They're the most harmless, stupid, poorly written / acted videos on my channel. I don't know what to say. Like, they're obviously stupid, but funny. I find them funny because, like, I am satirizing pickup videos in general and how redundant and empty and vapid they are, like the people who make them. I've made a few pickup videos in my time, so I'm also satirizing myself in that regard. But, like, I think pickup videos are the most pointless, easy to make trash, showboating shit on YouTube, and that, like, people aren't necessarily interested in you. They're interested in what games you got, and they want to see games that they haven't heard of, but, like, you don't want to make the effort to then back it up with research or contextualize what it's all about, and then you describe every game as cool, awesome, lots of fun, and then you show only the first, like, 5 to 10 minutes. And it's not just, like, one particular YouTube I'm aiming at. There's, like, a whole big fucking community of that. Like, and it's ridiculous how incestuous it is, and how those people beg for money all the time to buy them shit shamelessly when you are sitting around a fucking museum of games at every, like, it's ridiculous. Like, you've got the most obscure shit, and there's people out there, like, who put real hours up into their videos that don't even get a fraction of what you get. And, like, I think there's a disconnect with that community, and, like, I've kind of, like, it's kind of like one of those things, like, where I used to watch those pickup videos all the time, and then it's like you watch one pickup video, you've watched all of them, and then you fall into a cycle of, like, 4 years later, and you're like, why did I watch this person again? So it's like a whole, as I said, not just one person, but many people, and I'm just kind of, like, poking fun at it in my own dumb way. I'm not trying to, like, you know, attack a particular dude. I mean, like, if I wanted to, like, make fun of Metal Jesus or someone, I'd put on a dumbass wig and stand around awkwardly. But it's just kind of like the idea of it. As I said, there's 1,000 of those dudes. And it's just like the most innocuous stuff. Like a game just released today that doesn't have a collector's edition, or it's just a vanilla disc that comes in a box with no pamphlet, no manual, nothing. It's just a disc, and the disc is exactly like the front cover, and there's nothing really to say about it. And so Jam was kind of like a parody of all that. It's just meant to waste your time. So because of Jam and me, like, I don't know, not falling in line with that, or completely sucking everyone's dick for making innocuous content, suddenly I'm a bad guy for giving a shit about production values and writing something and doing research. Suddenly, I'm the asshole in this scenario for making fun of a waste of server bandwidth. My bad, dudes. My bad. My bad for not joining your cliques. And that's my real hot take on it, is I feel like because I maintain a 9-to-5 job, and then on my off time I write things, and I try my best to be as honest as I can and not ask for things or whatever, do it, like get bigger YouTubers to give me favors to build up my career. Suddenly I'm a douche because I don't want, you know, I don't know how to contextualize it other than that. It's like the dudes who made it, like, there's some legit people that worked for it. Like, I considered AVGN is great. And then there's like a whole string of people riding his coattails nonstop. And that's how it's always been. Like, that dude's a hard worker. Yeah, like, you know, there's a lot of YouTubers out there. And then there's like a whole slew of friends. Like, you know, and I hate to say it, but I mean, like, that's how a lot of people make it nowadays. It's like, you know, just one big case of nepotism making it. And I can sound salty about it on the outside, like, okay, sure, Miles, maybe if you just made better videos, more attention would come your way. But really, I'm about to do a collaboration myself, and I know 100% I'm going to be doing the best I can to shill it and play nice and not be a dickhole or burn any bridges, because really it's the only way I can get attention to come to my channel. That or Cheap Heat, aka drama. So I'm not trying to play the victim here, but I think it's all stupid. I think we all need a big look in the mirror. YouTube is not serious business. It's a way to express yourself. And sometimes I get frustrated and I create something that's a reflection of the way I feel, and I tend to do it in a comedic fashion. And if you take offense to it, well, you took offense to it. I've made fun of just about everyone and everything. You know, I have my own personal beliefs, and if you don't, if you want to know them, you can ask me about it, but I try and keep that separate for a reason, because it doesn't do anything. It just divides your audience. And I think the people who watch my videos get it. They know the joke. And it's hard to train people to understand satire, and unless you're explicitly telling people about it. So, not sorry that you're offended by me razzing on pickup videos, but Jam is gonna continue. Jam never dies. Jam's only gonna get worse. Buckle up, buckaroo. It's sticking around. And if you want to do stuff like block me on Twitter like a big adult baby, instead of facing up to me, a tiny little 5'9" manlet with skinny arms, and just saying, okay, I didn't get the joke, I'm offended, then just do it. Don't block me on Twitter. Don't pretend I don't exist. Just talk to me. You had no problem telling jokes at my expense, so when all of a sudden, when a joke comes your way, talking about you and your butt buddies, suddenly I'm the asshole. I will forgive you. I'm sorry for whatever I did to offend you, but I ain't taking down the videos, and I'm not gonna, you know, stop telling jokes about stupid shit, because if I did that, I'd be just like everyone else that self-censors and just become a neutered version of the reason why people started liking your content in the first place. You know, I'm not going out there just like deliberately trying to be an edgy boy, but you just don't do that to people that you consider friends. You don't just start ghosting them. Okay, now we're getting a little personal here. But no, this isn't, like, you know, this isn't really anyone on this channel might know. It's just like a few people that kind of like gang up on you and they fire passive aggressive shots instead of just like, you know, calling you up and saying, hey dude, what the fuck's going on? You know? So yeah, I'm done with it. I'm over it, but I think it's worth saying the people that want to take issue with my videos, well, okay, I'm not going to stop making videos. You know, I hope that the intent was comedy and you took it as comedy, and that's what I always hope for. And if you don't, well, I don't want to just spell it out for everyone. So that's my final word on the matter. Game pickup videos, yeah, they can be cool sometimes and valuable if it's like a really rare game, but for the most part, you gotta know on some level that it's harming the very community that you claim to care about, that it's driving up prices and preventing the same people that you care about, that you pretend to care about, and that you want to inform the community, it's driving them out of it for just what, 5-minute highlight reels of each of the games with broad sweeping Wikipedia overviews of them. So good on you for doing that, but good on you for never having nuance. Okay, you can have that. Have it all you want. Here, the real deal is, you got where you are because you knew someone. It's a tale as old as time. Love you. I love you. I wish you the best. That's me keeping it real. You got it. Hot take. Hot take cool stream. It's a hot stream now. But yeah. This is something where I gotta take a shadow photo. Oh boy, there's your first piece of the drama pie, Hikikomori Media. But it's real, man. Like I've been dealing with this shit. Like I've been grinning and bearing with people just talking down to me like I'm an idiot. Like, oh, this is what you got to do to make it to the top. You know, oh, you got to put out more content this way. Yeah, if I just assembly lined my content like you do and just film everything unscripted with no regard for my audience's time, then sure, yeah, I can put out content every day. Fuck it, let me just live stream my entire goddamn life. Let's have a charity drive for me and all my pity problems. I can do that. If that's the solution that you're offering me, then sure, let's do it, bro. God damn, man. Where's the awareness? Most of these people are 10 years older than me. The people that are getting on my case are fucking adults. You should have your shit figured out by then, don't you think? God damn. What am I doing? What am I doing but creating a little community by myself that barely anyone watches, but I'm proud of my work. I'm sorry for taking pride in my videos. I'm sorry for trying. I'm sorry for not playing ball with the algorithm. My bad. I got a little too real, guys. I apologize. I really don't have a lot of drama in my life, but the drama that I encounter is the most petty bullshit imaginable. And it's just all a matter of people people in the modern era can't be real with you. They can't confront you directly on stuff. They can't reply to you whenever they're selling you an Xbox One. They can't give you a shout out when they lift entire scripts and articles or use you as an inspiration in some way and give you a little nod or a shout out. They can't do it. They just hide behind their little block walls and feed off their sycophantic communities that will like them no matter what they do. Can't do no wrong. If only they knew the truth. I think everyone at the end of it learns the truth in retrospect. It'll come out. They can't keep quiet for long. I know I can't. I got a big ass mouth, but for real, I'm just done with it. Like, what more can I do than just be myself? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry I had to try. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry it had to go down that way. I'm completely lost. I know there's like a musical cue. I think I got a voicemail at some point. Let's check my messages. Quack, hoot, squawk, squawk, cluck. Remember that. Quack, hoot, squawk, squawk, cluck. Quack, hoot. This sounds like I'm a madman. Quack, squawk, hoot. Is it quack, squawk, hoot, hoot, cluck? Was that it? Let's check that again. I'm sorry. I'm really heated, guys. I tend to go on tangents. But it's always about something so little that could have just been handled in an adult manner. Quack, hoot, squawk, squawk, cluck. Quack, hoot, squawk, squawk, cluck. That's all I'm hearing. Got it. Okay, we got another running segment coming on. Before I do that, let me read the chat. I'm sorry I've been neglecting you, chat. Come on, pay pigs. Draw me some super chats. I gotta buy a new editing rig. I gotta buy myself Ease Book 7. I gotta buy myself Panzer Dragoon Saga. I gotta buy all of it, pay pigs. Where are you at? Oh my god, I missed a lot. Max says, you put too much effort in. Lower the bar. Bad exposure is also exposure. It's not just gaming channels, though. The cadre of professional explainers spans across all mediums. Audiences really should expect a minimum level of depth and examination of a piece of content. Well, a lot of people just boil down their content to people that are unfamiliar with the subject, which is a clever tactic. I do that in my preface to the reviews for people who don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. But the bare minimum, getting by, eating sandwiches in your goddamn car and just being like, tasty, 10 out of 10, it's a 10. You know, like your Joey's World Tour, that's... You should go to your grave embarrassed. The generations of your family that got you there through blood, sweat, and tears and breeding. You're a Darwinian failure at that point, don't you think? Sorry. Too real. Go Get Us says, raising the ceiling is the wrong idea, buddy. Lower the floor by joining the community. I can't hang with that. I can't delude myself into that mindset. Don't want to sound pretentious, but I literally could not go to sleep at night if I knew I wasn't trying. Gary Grooving says, calm down, Miles. Gary Grooving, you're getting a shout out. You're getting a goddamn shout out. Zek says, you explained it perfectly, mate. Thank you. Go Get Us says, phone messages through the Wiimote like No More Heroes. Yeah. And the calling also borrows that. The calling is even worse about it. Shake my head. Hikikomori Media can't pass a puzzle made for children. I did it, bro. Candy Boy. Miles, are you sad that there's practically no need for the Gaijin of Dojima anymore? Yeah, I killed off the Gaijin of Dojima primarily because there was nothing to complain about anymore. All my games that I wanted got localized, maybe except for like Kinsen and Black Panther and Ishin, but I mean, like, really I'm just grasping at straws at that point. Gaijin of Dojima is like definitely also kind of a take on, it's like a take on Angry Ranters and stuff, and tearing down the Shenmue community because there's such a collection of entitled babies. Even though I love Shenmue, and my best friend Ryan, like, that's his favorite game. So, like, it's kind of like a nod towards him, like an inside joke. But it's also a riff on the Shenmue community because they just, like, they don't realize the logistics of Shenmue being, like, way too ambitious and unrealistic, and also one of the death nails of the Sega Dreamcast and Sega as we know it. And it's never ending. I don't know. Like, I have my doubts about Shenmue 3, and I think I expressed them quite vividly in my Gaijin of Dojima stuff. We're gonna use a flare, boys. We're gonna use a flare. I don't know what to expect for Shenmue 3. It's gonna let a lot of people down, and then there's gonna be another group that just loves it no matter what. And that's how communities work. People are disappointed it's not like the one before it, or they're completely willing to defend it no matter the case. So get ready for that shit. Did I make it already? That may have been the fastest I've ever cleared this map, if that's the case. Is it this room over here? I'm getting close. I know everything's dark as shit. My apologies. That's the essence of Silent Hill. Can't see shit, son. I let probably way too much off my chest there. But I am making headway. I'm halfway through this game. Let's go get us says Kickstarters tend to have the worst case of defenders. I'm not okay. Look, the only thing I've ever kickstarted is The Good Life. And if it turns out bad, I'll criticize it for being bad. I'm willing to give it a pass in the same way I gave Deadly Premonition a pass. Like, I love it in spite of its flaws. So I'm willing to, like, hear it out there and go in mind, keep an open mind that it is a lower budget game. So, you know, that will be in there. But, you know, if there's anything that go awry or just things I don't like, if it doesn't rub me the right way, I'll tell you. So expect that. And I'll make fun of myself. I'm willing to make fun of myself for wasting $150 if it comes down to it. But I'm just happy that it's getting made at all. People really doubted Swery. I doubted Swery was going to get the funding. Let's be real. No one saw it jumping 50% in less than a week. So there might be some interesting book cooking or accounting going down that made it happen. But I'm just happy it's getting made. Hey, Jay Minkter, I didn't shout you out. Canny Boy, I haven't shouted you out. I miss you dudes. I don't see you around that often, but those two, I believe it was Jay Minkter. Jay Minkter, when I quit the channel the first time, didn't you make me a video saying come back? I believe that was you. I don't want to credit it to the wrong person, but that made me really happy. And if I didn't ever thank you for that, thank you. Like, thank you for that. It's the reason why you're seeing this stream today. It helped me come out of the brink, so thank you. Canny Boy, also, thank you for always showing up. Don't give you enough credit, but I see you in a lot of streams too, so thanks for showing up. Canny Boy says, fair Black Panther 2, give Yakuza Black Panther the Danganronpa treatment, originally released on PSP and localizing it for Vita. Yeah, the only problem about that is the Vita. The Vita's kind of dead. Maybe PS4. Maybe Sony should cut their losses and throw their Vita library on the PS4. They already got a PSP emulator on there, apparently, with the Parappa remaster, the so-called remaster. That's why I want to buy a separate PS4 so I can just hack it like I did my PS3 and play PSP and PS1 through 2 and, you know, PS4 homebrew and stuff like that. Translations, that sort of thing. I love me some homebrew. Switch next month. That's what you can expect. That I will no longer have a virgin Switch. It's time to grow up. Time to every Nintendo product gets their homebrew launcher one day. It hurts the first time. But for real, all Nintendo consoles get better the moment homebrew drops on them. Nintendo just signed their own death warrant in that regard. They're basically encouraging piracy by, like, the dumbest thing they did was announce that they're not releasing a virtual console. So now by doing that and introducing their crappy cloud service for saving games, they've now basically encouraged pirates to speed up the process. I don't know what their plans are for addressing the big NVIDIA issue, but they're screwed. There's like 14 million Switches out there.
But if she's not there, I won't wait. I just can't.
Mr. Greedius says that it's thanks to the Mega 64 videos that it got funded. Yeah, they definitely played a part in it. I also want to say that Jim Sterling and Super Best Friends and some other big YouTubers helped it out a lot. A lot of word of mouth. Like I told like 3 or 4 people that I knew, and I believe a lot of the sweary fans kind of did the same thing. Very passionate fan base. Jay Minkter says, "Oh, dude, you remember? Yeah, that was me. I don't comment that much, but I watch all your videos, man. Keep up the skits and parodies. They make me piss myself." Well, thank you. I'm glad it was you. Yes, I am a jock. Slut? Yep. Drunk? Hail to the yeah. We're getting that drunk ending. I'm a slut and a virgin. What's going to happen with that? And I am a bully. Slacker. Yes, I'm all of these things.
Take a different tack. On the table, I've laid out a blank timetable and some cards with
Canny Boy says, I support channels that I find genuine charm and passion behind. Generally prefer completely honest people behind the channel too, rather than, I guess, personas like Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank's still around? Well, thank you. My problem is, I don't lie enough. I don't lie enough, so that's why I will never be successful. Okay, the first thing, I mean, if you're a sexual person, would you want to go to sex ed class? Because all they show you is like photos of gonorrhea and syphilis and the drip and stuff. I don't know if you're a sexual person. That would probably be the last on your list. What would a drunk do? Religion. Religion would be here. Football would be here. I don't know any drunks that play basketball. You can be a drunk and play football and be a good linebacker. Literature, yeah. Edgar Allan Poe, man. Famous alcoholic and writer. Oh, every person in theater I've ever met is the biggest alcoholic. We're going to swap football with theater. Every actor I've ever known in the theater department, huge daddy issues, huge drinking to get away from all their problems, which manifest into their character studies. But you can't be a theater person and also be religious. You gotta be more left leaning to be in there. So yes, creative writing will be in there. Those are the key ingredients for a good alcoholic ending. I'm sorry. I speak as a theater person with the big theater background. The Century is Down can contest. He can concur, I should say, with that statement.
That was all there was to it. It was a breeze, wouldn't it?
Candy Boy says, Miles, how would you rank the Western Silent Hill games from best to worst? This is the best. Shattered Memories is the best. Homecoming is next. Origins. I would say Origins is better than Homecoming. Then Homecoming. Then Downpour. And it's only because I would say Book of Memories is the worst. Because it's Diablo, and it's not necessarily the best Diablo, and there's nothing to it. Like, it doesn't even try. At least Downpour tries a little bit, even though it's copying the better entries of Silent Hill. And, I don't know. It feels like Silent Hill Downpour feels like a game that a juggalo would find to be a masterpiece. It's like Fight Club for juggalos. Like, oh, wow, dude. It totally got in my head and tricked me. So, yeah, I give it that. I think it's a good juggalo core game, Downpour. So, yeah, Book of Memories being the worst. Shattered Memories being the best. Shattered Memories is a short but sweet ride. Hey, we got a super chat from Zek B. What are your thoughts on the best on Beat 'em Ups channel? Wood started to get on my nerves with clickbait content and always wanting people to send him shit. Beat 'em Ups, isn't that dude who kind of looks like Alpha Mega Sin? Like, no, he looks more like Smooth McGroove. I thought Beat 'em Ups was Smooth McGroove, is my opinion. I've met Smooth McGroove. He's a cool dude. I like what he does. I do listen to Smooth McGroove has some bangers, dude. Listen to some of his acapellas, and then he also does some, like, EDM and synthwave. Smooth McGroove is cool. Now, Wood, I think, like, isn't he, I think he's either from New Zealand or Australia. Sorry if that's offensive, Zek. I've seen him appear in other videos. I don't know anything about him, honestly. I hate that you donated for that, and I don't have a solid opinion, but he looks like he runs with the same circles, and I probably wouldn't like his channel. But if he ever talked to me, I'd be willing to hear him out. But he probably would never talk to me, or we'd never run in the same circles, so there's your answer. I don't really know him all that well. I thought he was Smooth McGroove at one point. Go check out Smooth McGroove. His channel's kind of a novelty thing. He's a musician, and he does a lot of acapellas and like a Brady Bunch frame, but I like him a lot. I think Smooth McGroove's channel is the least offensive channel on YouTube. You know? He just kind of stays out of all that stuff. Tricking a juggalo is like saying you outsmarted a 5th grader. I gotta say, juggalos are not bad people. Not all of them. I've got some good friends that are juggalos, and they're a little weird to get to know at first. Like, you know, you gotta understand that it's just another fan community. Some people might consider it like a cult-like mentality, or in some cases, I believe juggalos are considered gangs. But honestly, juggalos are just they're kind of people I grew up around, like, you know, a little bit on the white trash side, might be a little bit on the meth side, but overall just like decent people most times. You know, they are who they are, and they're not ashamed of it. So I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at a juggalo. I do remember, okay, you want to hear my juggalo story? So Josh, if you're watching this, man, I still love you, and I'm not making fun of you. I'm just making fun of us being teenagers, so don't get mad. But my friend Josh and his twin brother Jeremy were the first juggalos they weren't the first juggalos I ever met. Like, I knew some, like, what they call, there's a terminology in juggalo language called Juffalo. Juffalo. Yeah, I did my juggalo research on this one. But I did know a Juffalo named Dustin that owned the Great Malenko and Riddlebox and stuff. And we listened to it because it was just kind of like, you kind of listen to ICP in the same reason that you would listen to, like, Weird Al. Like, just the novelty of hearing a parody or just, like, a dirty rap song that was making fun of something that you're not supposed to listen to. So, you know, I listened to something like The Game Show or Hocus Pocus Chocus. And yeah, I did all that. And so I met my friends, Josh and Jeremy. They're twin brothers. They were juggalos. And honestly, the nicest dudes I've ever met. They were super funny. And we both kind of shared similar childhoods. And we related to that. And we both were really into white trash kid things. So we bonded over that. And the juggalo thing, I was kind of like not all sold on, but I was willing to give it a chance because we're all good friends and stuff. So I hung out with them. I listened to, ICP back in the day. And one time, they told me that juggalos were like a family and that, like, it was kind of like an underground railroad situation, like where there was juggalo codes, like either a hatchet man, bumper sticker, tattoo, necklace. You could get pretty much any juggalo merchandise you can think of, probably even a juggalo bong or meth pipe. Yeah, maybe the juggalos even sell their own branded syringes. I'm not even sure how deep it goes, but I know there's a whole juggalo empire that spans even films starring Harlan Williams that I've watched. I've watched some juggalo kino, so I know a lot about it from being around them. So they told me, like, I didn't have a lot of money when I was in middle school, and they're like, hey, all you got to do is get the juggalo discount. I was like, what's that? They're like, here, throw on some face paint, throw on a ICP shirt. There's this dude up at the McDonald's. He's going to give us the juggalo discount. And you know what? It happened. I threw on the face paint just to see, what the whole deal was all about. I put on myself, I believe it was a Riddlebox t-shirt. The one wherever there's a big old wizard with coming out of the riddle box or something. There's a big old wizard coming out, and Shaggy and Violent J are just like, sup, dude? It was back whenever they were in their New World War or Wolfpack phase. Like, I think ICP went through a Wolfpack phase at one point in time. Like, first they had the black and white clown makeup, and then like 5 years later, they had the red Wolfpack phase. Like, they had red face paint on. So it was during the Wolfpack phase, and I had that shirt on, and me and my homies went out to McDonald's all dressed up as juggalos, and we got free double cheeseburgers and shit. It was kind of cool. And then it was at that moment that I understood it. I was like, oh, there's just a group of people that are all looking out for each other, that bond under the same umbrella of ICP. Sure, it's a little wild and stupid, but there's got to be something. There's got to be a silver lining to every community. So yeah, I got, I couldn't hate from that point forward. I thought, okay, I get it. I never did go to a gathering of the Juggalos. I've always wanted to go. There was one up at this amusement park that would happen like once a year or so, that where all these Juggalos around Kansas City would meet up, drink their Faygo colas, and fuck fat bitches, man. that's the juggalo. That's what do they call that? There's a juggalo heaven. There's a whole song about the juggalo heaven, and that's what it's all about, man. The Great Malenko will take you to their version of Christianity, and you'll go there if you believe in miracles. And you don't know how magnets work, you will get there. But yeah, as I said, can't razz on them. Josh, Jeremy, if you ever watch this, I love you. I love you guys. Even if you still love ICP, I respect it. I get it. It's fine. I honestly thought it was kind of weird and subversive, and it kind of tied into my love of horror. Like, I loved horror movies and violent shit. So like that I could respect, which is also kind of like a subversive culture. So yeah, if I have any juggalos up on the Hikikomori subs, much love. Get to netting. If I had to choose somebody out of the, what is it, Psychopathic Records as my favorite offshoot of ICP, I would give it to Twisted. Twisted has one of these high concept albums. God damn it, why am I talking about juggalos for this long? Twisted is kind of like an offshoot. It's like one of the subgroups of ICP that sings rap songs and stuff, mostly about smoking weed, you know. But they have a high concept album called The Wizard of the Hood. And it's basically, it's an ICP version of Wizard of Oz. And they're all going to see the wizard, which I believe is the Great Malenko. And all they do is like smoke weed and follow like the green brick road or something like that. I think they're walking on hash bricks all the way up to the Great Wizard. And I sat down and listened to that album, and I was like, God damn, this is actually a decent ass concept album. And who would have thought Twisted would have pulled this off? And yeah, that's my ICP story. Let's see here. I'm sorry, chat. I went on way too long with my Gigolo story. Everyone's like, Gigolo? ICP makes such shit music, says Gary. You ever smoke crack, Miles? No, but I've probably been offered crack at some point. HM says, Stratos Radio. Have you ever thought of playing the game Galarians or any of the PlayStation 1 Tenchu games? Up on King Game Review, which is like the sister channel of this, we played Galarians on there, and I own Galarians and Galarians Ash. They're really weird and not my favorite, so they'd probably get reviewed later on down the line. Nuker says, how do your juggalos feel considering the fact that they are listed under a violent group under federal classification? I think they like it, but there was a giant juggalo protest against it. I would think if I were in ICP, it's like, oh, this just added some legitimacy to our group in some weird way. But no, but I guess they hate it. Jay Michter, which game does divorce themes better, Shattered Memories or Chibi Robo? Chibi Robo. Oh my god, that's my favorite. Like, Killer 7 and Chibi Robo are a very eclectic mix, I would say, but both are dark and disturbing in their own special ways. And I would say Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo, the father in that is like a caricature of YouTube collectors going through a midlife crisis. Really, like on the verge of a divorce. That's Chibi Robo. It's the problem with collecting shit manifested into It causes so much psychological trauma to that family that the daughter has to cope by adopting a frog Sona. I'm not even kidding. Like, Chibi Robo does not give enough credit for how dark. It's like Mother. It's like Earthbound. Almost on the same level. It's about it deals with the problems of consumerism. Like, how did they get that one by? I don't know. But God bless Chibi Robo. It really deserves either an HD remaster or a good port of it one day. I'd love to hack my Switch so I can get it up on there and play it on the go. So yeah, I'm a little over the halfway mark. I think it's the school, then the hospital, then nowhere, then the lighthouse. That's how it goes. It's a very short game. I believe I've got to dissect a frog here soon. Let's, if I can find it. There's a frog I can dissect in one of the rooms, and it has a ring in it. I'm not really going for all the mementos, but I do want to show off the frog part. It may change up depending on my choices I selected, though, so might not be in here after all. Yeah, Chibi Robo was fun. On the surface, it looks like an innocent game about a little house cleaning robot. Oh, here's the frog. Cool. Now this is what I call Wiimote. Waggling. Waggling done right. Getting a class ring out of a dead frog. Jay Minkter says, please do a video on Chibi Robo. It'll happen. I got a few things that I want to get off my back burner for this year. The main thing is, like, I want to keep on with this Suda thing I've got going on up until the release of Travis Strikes Again. So that's going to be on there. I've wanted to continue on Dead franchises, so I'm doing that right now. And a few other, like, obscure left in other countries kind of games, like the Simple series. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. So Dead franchises is coming next. And I spend a little bit more time on those videos because I want to do them one time, make sure they're right, make sure they're factually correct, and that they flow well. So I have to go back and re-record some things, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm trying to get a couple of collaborations going on at the moment. I've been reached out to for collaborations, so that's always a weird thing because I feel like I'm the worst part in every collaboration I've ever done. Every collaboration I've ever done, I come off as awkward and weird because everyone always takes my first take and never says, hey, do it another way, or do it again, you dumb idiot. So, I come off sounding weird in every collaboration I've ever done, so I'm gonna make this upcoming one right. I think that'll do good for the channel. The people I'm collaborating with, I respect a lot, so that helps. They're from channels that I would watch, not just somebody I'm collaborating with just because they're popular. They're people that I genuinely watch. So that means I hope that you guys will check out those videos whenever they come out. I don't have a direct timeline on those because I'm not the ones editing them. But my Dead franchises will come out in the next week for sure. For sure. I believe I've got to get a key and go to the second floor and unlock either the astronomy lab or the art department. I believe I chose the theater, though. I don't know. We'll find out. And then there's like this weird cryptic principal password I've got to do. Something like that. I think I'm going in circles. Let's check the good old Palm Pilot here. The little BlackBerry phone that Harry has. Alright. So I'm at Midwich. I need to get to the stairway, but it's not listed on here. The gym? I believe it's locked. Where's the does this mean administrator? No. Zoom in. We'll just play it by ear. Canny Boy says, a dead franchise is on Ark the Lad? No, but I do like Twilight of the Spirits. That's the only one I've ever really played. No, it's a dead franchises on Trace Memory again, but it's on the sequel on the Wii, Another Code R. And that's something that I've referenced a couple of times in past videos, but this is the time I go all out. I'm going all out for this one, and I think it's criminally underrated. So there you have it. Cat's out of the bag now. But I did announce it on my Patreon. So if you kind of want an idea of what I'm working on, what's down the pipeline, there it is, up on my Patreon. Or I sometimes just blurt it out on stream or on the Discord, but that's what I'm working on. Dead franchises, Another Code R. So maybe it's this door right here? Ah, there's the second floor. Making progress. Planetarium Art Studio. Well, I would go to the planetarium if I had my pick. So once you open one of these doors, the other one locks. I believe the solution can only be found whenever you turn off your flashlight. We'll see. One of these chairs, I think, yeah, that's the thing that's buzzing there. So all these like little memories are of Cheryl. Like, you really don't get to see her that much in the game, so all the little memories help contextualize who she is and what went down. Kind of an off-screen character development sort of thing. They don't last that long. Orion the Hunter. Lynx the Lynx. I need this, I think, to get a passcode. We'll see. That's locked. Alright, let's see. I almost forgot to add, seeing that you are playing a Silent Hill game, you should really watch Silent Hill No Escape on YouTube by Nick Greenlee. It's a concept that could have made a great game. Is that like a fan film? Or a fan game? I've seen some Silent Hill fan films before. They're not always They're not always the greatest, but yeah, I'll give anything a chance. The worst fan film I've ever seen was somebody made a fan film based on the Friday the 13th NES game. And they wore the giant purple costume in the middle of the day. 555-2327. Okay. I gotta call that to unlock the door. Big Bear. Doors open. Okay, we did it. Yeah, I saw this Friday the 13th fan film. It was like Friday the 13th, the NES game. And it was like some dude who put on a purple suit and then just hired like big titty hookers. Obviously like skanked out hookers that he hired on Craigslist. And then he goes around with like a plastic machete and I guess attacks them. And it didn't look good at all. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. And the dude like kickstarted it for like, I don't know, $5,000. He got $5,000. And I'm like, this dude spent it all on hookers. Hookers and a purple jumpsuit. It's out there somewhere. You can check it out. I'm not making it up. That's a real thing. Kenny Boy says, cool, how are you progressing with Yakuza? Remember you said you were in the middle of 0. Oh, I'm on Yakuza 6 now. Yakuza 6 going good. I play it when I have the time to play it. I'm doing all the side quests. Yakuza's taken me all year to beat. Honestly, it's one of those games that I start out strong, but like when life catches up with me, like they're not a game you can necessarily beat in one sitting to see everything there is to see. So yeah, I'm taking my time with it. I'm enjoying it. It's sad that this is the last one in Kiryu's saga, but it'll be refreshing to get a new protagonist and a new story going down. Like over, I don't know, what, 10, 12 games that Kazuma's been the protagonist, that's an impressive feat for sure. I won't knock it. Did they just write the passcode on the keypad there? Okay, is that a 7? One 053 is what I'm seeing. Okay, in reverse. Am I looking at it wrong? Is that a 6 maybe? Is that like a 1653? Is that a 7653? 1053. Maybe I'm supposed to call somebody. Okay, let's try that again. Miles, you're drunk, go home, can't even type the passcode. I'm LARPing right now. I'm staying in character. Like, is that a 1 or 7? Regardless, it's not even working, so maybe there's another clue nearby. Then nothing important there.
Mine's switched off.
It's not switched off, Harry. Is this okay? 1053 is what I tried before. Why is this here? Why is this here? I know that the solution is probably more obvious.
Look somewhere else.
Big Bear.
So now, as we move across the sky, we see another familiar face. This will be Ursa Minor.
Ah, okay. Let's check these lockers. Maybe it's a red herring of some kind. $10.31. Okay. Let's try that one instead. Okay. That must have been a red herring. Okay, hold on. Let's see what they're saying here in the chat. Stratus Radio says, I read a bit of the new No More Heroes game coming out. There was a shot of Kamui Uehara possibly in the game. Yes, I saw him, and then I saw that samurai game, or that there's like a samurai statue of a guy in Let It Die in the lobby, on the online lobby. He's in it. The Death Drive 128's in it. I'm sure there will be more motifs. Let's see. Still kind of worried that Travis Strikes Back won't be really much, you know. Candy Boy, I know what you're saying. And it's probably not going to be anything more than like a typical like twin stick brawler kind of game. I know what I'm getting into. I know it's not like Suda probably doesn't have a whole ton of investors behind him like he did with the first No More Heroes or Killer 7 and stuff. But he's trying to get it out there, and I guess he's using it as a testing ground to see if there's any remaining interest in the franchise. Because you gotta understand, like, the last No More Heroes game was 2 on the Wii, and that was, geez, coming up on 10 years now. Yeah, coming up on it. So it's been a while. So for many people, this will be their first No More Heroes game, and I don't think it'll be a good representation of the series, but I'm sure there will be something style and charm-wise, maybe at least a good soundtrack. We'll get something out of it. It's the only Switch game I'm legitimately anxious to try out. It'll be a higher production scale than Ranko's Tsukagimi. Yeah. Ranko's Short Piece, Ranko's Longest Day. Not the best. Very low budget. This is the Willie Nelson cover. You Are Always on My Mind. I don't believe this is the Mary Elizabeth McGlynn version. The voice actress here sang it herself. That happened in the Scott Pilgrim movie. The actress who plays Roxy sang it in the movie, and I like her version better than Metric, which did the version on the soundtrack. There's a little Scott Pilgrim trivia for you. But listen to it for yourself. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I didn't want to stop you, but I'm looking for the shelter.
Yeah, I love Hotline Miami as well. So, my theory is that Travis Strikes Again is going to be slightly deceiving. I bet there's going to be more styles of gameplay in there akin to the mini games of No More Heroes 2. So, yeah. That's my prediction. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but if it's not, be sure to quote this stream. Timestamp this prediction. But I feel like Travis Strikes Again is going to be a compilation of different styles of gameplay, mini games, that sort of thing, that take place inside the Death Drive 128. So it's not all going to be like co-op brawler. Resume cutscene, skip it. We're skipping it for Konami reasons.
The principal's office?
Yep. Locked.
Oh my god. Okay, I remember this puzzle. So they break into the principal's office to hack his computer so they can check the database of all the current students, which doesn't make any sense because they could pull up a yearbook. I'm sure they could walk into the library. So now they have to hack the password of the principal, and the password is a reference to one of the many objects that's random every time in the office. And then after that, it goes into the third chase sequence. Then there's, I think, the wheelchair one, which is really easy, and then the final one. So, yeah, the game's about to wrap up.
See if you can pull up the records for Cheryl Mason. See if she's your daughter. Prove me wrong.
If I do, we get out of here?
Sure. Take your time. I'm just gonna text my boy.
Harry just got friend-zoned. Ice cold. Okay, all right. So the stream has gone on for about 2.5 hours. We're getting to that point. We're gonna wind down. If you want me to finish this stream like next weekend, I can do that or play something else, but my voice is raspy, probably from screaming and ranting earlier. Sorry about that, babe. But I'm going to go through and answer some final questions and give my shout-outs, my thank yous, and I'm going to skedaddle. Okay, so Candy Boy says, I remember that all Hotline Miami references in the first trailer. Hope we get more of that. Agreed. The question, can Travis beat Mondo Zappa? Oh, yeah, he'd murder that pussy. Canny Boy, I can't really stand Kirk Thomas as Harry, though. I don't dislike him as a voice actor, but a bad choice for Harry. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Nuker says, love you, Hikiko. I love you too, Nuker. Will you be covering Ranko Tsukigimi in Grasshopper B-Sides? That's a good question. I did review it as the Hikikomori. There's an episode about it. I believe it's the first Hikikomori or the second one. I've already reviewed it, so I'm sure I could just take my same script and repurpose it for a review, but really there isn't much to say history-wise that I didn't already cover in that video. Basically, the company that was putting together Short Piece reached out to Suda to make a short film in this anthology thing, and he said, okay, and then so he made one about an assassin girl. And that's basically the beginning and end. Short Piece Ranko Tsukigimi is one of the more disjointed stories in the Short Piece collection. You know, just typically Suda. That's so Suda. But yeah, it's just, there's really not a good progression to the story. And it ends with a dance party full of teenage women. So it feels like a fever dream because it was. I got nothing really any more to add to Short Piece there. Let's see. All right. With that said, I don't see any more questions. So I'm going to do my shout outs. Max, Mr. Greedius, Zek B, thank you for the super chats. Sand and Sense 992, random utility was in here. This entry is down, my mod. Last go getta. Retro game players. Yeah, what's up, Marcus? Anthony Birch Fan Club. Love that name. LP Grotus was in here. Shout out to the Frog Squad. Tentacle Touchy. Or is that or do you go by Terry? I'm not sure. I don't want to confuse you, Tentacle. I'm sorry if I'm misremembering your name. But Tentacle, shout out. Nuker145. Love you too, bro. Jay Mector, once again, thanks for that video. Way back when. Gary Grooving. Canny Boy, don't be a stranger. Mr. Greedius. Ben Hillman was there for a second. I'm scrolling down pretty quickly. Stratos Radio, 1985 AM. RC. And I think that's it. If I missed you, I'm really sorry. I'll try and get you next time. And if you're being passive in the chat, I'm sorry I can't see if you're in the chat at the moment to shout you out, but know that I love you guys, and I'll see you all next time. No, just if you guys for real want to join the Discord's there. I'm pretty much active 24/7 there. Probably when I should be working on videos, I'm in that Discord. The Patreon's up. If you want to patronize, you can. If not, it's cool. What else? Got a new Dead franchise coming out. Check me out there. Shout outs to my other friends that I've been collabing with lately, like Thor High Heels. Go check out his channel. I can't reveal who this other person I'm collabing with. It's a mystery. You will see me on there soon. And yeah, have yourselves a nice day. Love you, boos. See you later.